Welcome, I'm David.
I'm Lindsay,
And this is Desmonds Donders.
Hello, and welcome to Desmonds Donders. What a trip this has been, but I'll get to that later. We're at Cairngorm Quarry. The weather is glorious and too hot to be sat inside. I am sitting in the shade, and I'll show you around in a little while. But while we seem to have a break in the traffic, I think I'll tell the story of how we got here. I came away myself on the Thursday night, and Lindsay was going to join me the next day, or rather the Thursday afternoon. I got to our planned spot for the weekend, and there were two cars already parked. But instead of being parked normally, they were parked across the park up. So I had no choice but to park the same way as them, because if I parked properly, I was blocking them in. I did think about it, mind. So I reversed in, and I took a look at the back and thought I was all clear. And then I was using the car as a gauge of how far back I could go. And I got an inch, 2 inches at most too far, and slid down the bank into the ditch. Now, obviously, I was never going to get myself out. And I had a couple of ways of contacting, although I didn't have the AA recovery app I needed, because Lindsay had that on her phone. So all I could do was phone Craig and ask for help. Now, he was nearly in Dingwall, so that wasn't going to happen. So I had an emergency number to contact Lindsay. Just rang out, because they're not allowed their phones in the factory. It doesn't stop a lot of them, but they're not allowed them. Okay, so there I am. The next time I know I'm going to be able to phone Lindsay or contact Lindsay is 9 o'clock. That's really when panic set in. I couldn't get to the back of Desmond to use the toilet. I'd already tried, and he went further into the ditch, even with handbrakes, etc. on. I couldn't get anything to eat, blah blah, etc, etc. So I managed to get the key to the outside garage and check what we had, and I'd left a message with Lindsay, saying I was panicked, and she got that at a break, and decided to come to me. So at this point, I know Lindsay's coming, but I'm still high as a kite. I'm going to do a video on what I mean by panic and anxiety and depression, but not today. It's just too nice a day. Anyway, the next thing was a couple of guys turned up with their tents, and they're going to find a tent to pitch up, find a place to pitch up. They weren't much help. But a couple of Germans turned up in a camper van. They tried to help. I've got to give them their due. They did try to help. Then Lindsay turned up. And just as Lindsay turned up, a very nice couple in a white 4x4 turned up as well, who lived just down the road. And they would help. Now, our rope needed 4 or 5 turns, and it still didn't hold Desmond. But they happened to have some straps. So we used these towing straps and attached them to the 4-wheel drive, and out popped Desmond. I don't know if you can hear them, but that was a motorbike trundling away. And now you're probably wondering what's he on about, because I'll edit all these gaps and what have you out. we're out, but at this point I wasn't staying where I was. I'd had enough. I did forget to say that the 2 cars were there, just pulled off and drove away with no offer to help. Should have said that earlier. Anyway, that's how we ended up here. A quick decision where to come, Cairngorm Quarry. It's normally somewhere we come later in the year or earlier in the year, because it is a busy spot. It hasn't been too bad. The road's busy, but that's because the other road out of Tomintoul is shut. So most of the traffic from the north and the south, southwest, etc., is coming in this way. I'm here. There's no harm done to all my hard work, which you've still not seen on Desmonds. But I've still got work to do on there before I show you. It's coming along though, coming along nicely. And it's all right, I'm just looking at the next job I'm going to do. And when it's done, I'll show you. I've got to tidy up the lights, basically. So, that's how we ended up here. It's a nice spot. I've flown the drone. I'll probably fly again when I pick a destination. And I've got some different shots of this place, which I will show you on the drone. But first, I'm going to switch off for a second, stretch out the legs on the tripod and show you around here. Lindsay's already been up to the sculpture, the still, so I'm not going to bother going up there, but I'll show it you from ground level. And let's hope this weather is here to stay and give us a chance to have a bit of nice weather for a few days. Going home as normal tomorrow, but we're out next week, and in a couple of weeks after that we're heading south towards Edinburgh. And on that note, let me go before the traffic comes back. The quarry. But unfortunately at the moment, now I'm not talking low level as it were, the ravens, not the ravens, the jackdaws have stopped. That's our alarm clock in the morning. And there's the still in all its glory. Lindsay has been up there, and she will no doubt have taken lots of photos for me to use. Tomintoul nestles at a height of 354 metres on the northern slopes of the Cairngorm Mountains, and lays claim to the title of the highest village in the Highlands. Travel southwest from here and you encounter nothing more developed than the odd track for nearly 40 miles, and meantime you will have crossed the highest mountains in the Cairngorms. Interestingly enough, if you were to take that route, you would merge on the A9 not far from Dalwhinnie. There were settlements in this area by the 1640s, but Tomintoul itself did not come into being until 1776. In the aftermath of the 1745 Jacobite uprising, many changes swept the Highlands, and his desire to control both the political and economic activity was high on the agenda. It was during this period that the 4th Duke of Gordon decided to build a new village to house the populations of a number of dispersed settlements across his estate, This may in part have been driven by desire to improve people's fairly miserable lives, but it was also designed to make it easier to stamp out cattle reiving and whisky smuggling, both elements of a way of life in this part of the Highlands that had lasted for generations. The location of the Duke's new village was picked to take advantage of the military road that had been built from Braemar over the high pass at the Lecht via lonely Corgar Castle in 1754. Craighhalkie Quarry is situated next to the A939 on the northern approach to Tomintoul. This once active limestone quarry overlooks the River Avon, Tomintoul and the surrounding hills. A car park, picnic table and a short walk to the viewpoint allows you to explore further.
So I've made it part of the way round the path. Sorry for me squinting my eyes, but the sun's in my eyes. The Tomintoul path, there's a circular path that takes you all round the back of the village and through the village. I've done it quite a few times, but I'm not doing it this time. I've seen at least 3 dragonflies stroke damselflies. One of them was actually sitting on a piece of grass and it sat there for what felt like forever, but for reasons best known to itself, the camera did not want to play, and the others have just shot off in different directions. So yeah, it's fine. So here we are, sunshine and blue skies. There's a bit of a breeze and there's a buzzard calling out. It's probably a youngster thinking it's going to get fed, a bit like last week, but I'll show you around if I can get the camera to turn round. This is where we're at. the grass is almost as tall as I am. Almost, but not quite. It's almost up, well, it's up to my shoulders. And this is the view. As I said, excuse the road noise, but one part of the road's actually been closed off. The bridge over there, which you can't see, has been closed off as they're doing structural work on it. It's an old bridge and it's narrow, and it's like all the bridges, they have to check them to make sure that they're actually safe to be used. I have spoken to a nice man with a very large camera and a very large lens, and he's told me where I can go and get pictures of black darters, so I think I'm going to head there and see. He says they will sit still for you to take pictures. What's the bet they won't with me? But I have got quite a few photographs and even a small video of peacock butterflies. So, result. I've got quite a few peacock butterflies from the whole day so far. This is just the easiest bit of the path to walk on because it's concrete. Unfortunately, it doesn't go on for very long. But as you can see by the grass, I'm not kidding, some of it is actually taller than me. But it looks lush. The chap said that most of the migrant birds that they have up here during the summer arrived late and left early. After the summer we've had, I don't blame them. It's been wet, cold and horrible. And here we are on the 7th of September. All the kids are back at school and the sun's splitting the sky open. Never mind. It's Saturday. So, if I get to where he told me to go, and the darters are there, and if they will sit still long enough for me to photograph them, I might put you back on again. If not, I'll put you back on the way back to David. Hello, swallow. I wasn't expecting to see you up here. So, there you go. The swallows are still here. So, we're just trying to work out where we're going for Christmas. I think we should just close our eyes and stick a pin in the map and see where it is, because we have no idea at the moment. So, not to worry, Christmas is still a fair bit off. Well, I think 14 weeks. Sorry if I've scared anybody. Hello, butterfly. Right, I'm going to switch you off again. Hello again. So this is me on my way back. I'm rather annoyed with myself. I have seen at least half a dozen different damselflies, stroke dragonflies, stroke darters. I haven't got a picture of one. Just after I finished speaking to you here the last time, there was a dragon, well, turns out it was a black darter on a piece of grass, and it sat there for what seemed like forever, but my camera, because I had the wrong lens on it, one, couldn't find it, and two, wouldn't focus on it, and then I moved and then it shot off. So dragonflies 1, Lindsay 0 again. But we'll get there. It's a nice walk, but I reckon I've been out for the best part of 4.5 hours, and David will be getting enough flap soon if I don't get back. I also think I've got sunburn because I didn't come out with any sun cream on, and it is warm, even though when you're in the wind it does cool you down a bit. Sorry, I'm being nosy. So I'm going to leave you here. I'm not that far away from Desmond or David, and a long cold drink or something. I did take water with me, but I have been very careful with it. But this is me going back to Desmond, having failed again at getting pictures of dragonflies, damselflies, darters. Hey ho. I did get lots of pictures of butterflies, and when I actually went to ask somebody if I was going the right way, and apparently I'd gone past it and then kept walking in the opposite direction for nearly 1.5 miles. Yeah, it's Lindsay. And then when I did find it, I went, oh yeah, I know where this is. It's just off the flipping park that we parked up the last time we were here. So I'm not very happy with myself, but hey ho, we'll get there. So take care all, and thanks for following us. And like I said, I'm sorry about the road noise, but this is the only way in and out of Tomintoul at the minute, because the other road's closed because the bridge is shut. Take care, guys.
Thank you for watching Desmonds Donders. And remember, while in the countryside, indeed anywhere, take nothing but memories and leave nothing but tracks. Please subscribe and click that notification bell to receive notifications of all our videos.